everyone, I'm Umehani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to answer the request from one of the viewers that how do I read books which are very good for my development but I do not like to read them. So I'm sure by watching my video a lot of you would have already cultivated the habit of reading, but there is always that question that remains in our mind, right? That how do I read books that I do not like? So today I'm going to answer that question, and if you want to know the answers, then just stay with me till the end of the video and I can guarantee you that you will definitely benefit out of it. So first of all, I want you to know the why. Why is reading this particular book so important to you? So I want you to list down all the benefits of reading this particular book. If you remember in my first video, I've spoken about the great author and motivational speaker Simon Sinek, who talks about the importance of why in something called as the golden circle, where he talks about the importance of why in any activity as compared to the what and the how. Now this is how our human brains are designed. They will never ever let us do any investment if there is no benefit in that investment. So you need to make your brain understand that this particular investment is a great investment. So secondly, I want you to understand why you do not like reading this book. Have you ever read such kind of books in the past? And if you have, then what is the reason for not liking this book? Because if you do not know the reason, then it's going to be very difficult for you to find the solution. So let's say, for example, I feel very sleepy if I read management books. But we all know how important management books are for our career growth. So maybe what I can do is prepare a cup of coffee for myself and sip it while I'm reading this management books. So this will keep me stay awake. So that's how you need to find your solution to the problem. The third thing is to remove all the perceptions from your mind. You cannot just assume that you do not like to read a book without even reading that book in the past. So you cannot go by the majority opinion of people. Let me just give you an example. So I'm sure there must have been some kind of movies which you would have watched. Maybe you liked the movie, but your friends and your family would have not liked this movie. Now, how do you know that you like this movie? You know that you like this movie only because you watched the movie. You couldn't say that you like this movie until and unless you did not watch it. So the same concept applies to books as well. So you cannot judge a book without even reading it. So it's very important to read and understand whether you like this book or you do not like this book. Fourth thing is to understand the content and not just focus on finishing the book as soon as possible. So let me give you a personal life example. As a kid, I hated physics when I was in school. But when I went into my pre-university college, I understood that physics is something that I'm madly in love with. Now, why did I like physics or why did I love physics? Is because I understood the content. Now, you see the difference in the opinion? I started loving physics because I understood the content. And this is what will happen with you. If you focus on understanding the content, you will start loving that book. But if you focus on finishing the book as soon as possible, then you will start hating that book. So the next thing that you need to keep in mind is to select a good time when you can read the book. Generally, mornings are considered to be the best time when you can read books, but this may vary from person to person. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is never ever read a book when you are feeling sleepy or when you are extremely tired. So what happens is that your brain assumes that you are feeling sleepy because of this book. So the sixth point is to have an appropriate body language. There is a high chance that your body will go into a relaxed mode if you do not like to read a particular book. So I want you to maintain a good body posture right from the start to the end. So the seventh ninth point is to keep yourself away from all the distractions. I've said this earlier and I would say this once again. It is very, very easy for us to get distracted if you do not like a particular activity. So just keep yourself away from all the distractions. So the eighth thing to keep in mind is to take enough breaks. Do not force yourself to read books for a very, very long time. You're doing nothing but straining your brain. So just take enough breaks. But this also does not mean that you're going to take breaks after every 5 minutes. Just take breaks when it is required. So the next thing to keep in mind is to fix targets for yourself, and once you achieve these targets, just reward yourself. Be kind to yourself. Trust me, you may not understand the importance of self-appreciation, but this is one of the biggest reasons for anyone to be motivated. So the 10th thing to keep in mind is whatever you have read, just ensure that you're going to discuss this with someone else. So what happens when you start discussing with another person is that the information will be there in your mind for a longer time because you land up in discussions with this person. So start talking to people about whatever you have read. So if you apply all the 10 tips that I have shared with you, then you will definitely be able to read the books that you do not like to read. But just in case if you still do not see any improvement in yourself, then I would suggest you to do a self-analysis of your personality. You need to understand what kind of a learner are you. There are 3 types of learners. The first one is an auditory learner. An auditory learner is a learner who learns by listening. The second is a visual learner. A visual learner is a learner who learns by seeing things. And the third one is a kinesthetic learner. Kinesthetic learners are learners who learn by doing any kind of physical activity. So you need to understand what kind of a learner are you. So if you are an auditory learner, I would suggest you to listen to audiobooks. If you are a visual learner, then I would suggest you to go into YouTube and look out for these videos where you can find the gist of some really, really famous books. And if you are a kinesthetic learner, then I would suggest you to do a little bit of research about the market. There are a lot of trainings nowadays which are designed based on certain famous books. So you can actually learn by, in a very, very interactive manner. So lastly, and this is my favorite, I want you to stay positive and motivated. This is definitely a skill which you can acquire, because if it was something which is impossible, then you and I wouldn't be a graduate today. Because if you and I can read these thick and boring books of our school and colleges, then we can definitely read books even today, even if we do not like them. So I really, really hope that this video helps you to read the books that you do not like to read. And if there is any topic that you would like me to address, then just do not hesitate to put it down in the comment box. If you think that this video was helpful, then do not shy away to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. And please be a little more generous in helping the people around you to develop by sharing this video to them. So all the very, very best and happy learning.